Book 3 of the Reckoner series, Calamity, has continued to improve the story. Let's talk about it. So we start off with the Reckoners in bad shape after the turning of Prof. They're desperate. David's now in charge of the team, and he's really unsure. He lacks a lot of confidence in his ability to lead the team. And his team around him have kind of defaulted to him as a leader, but they're all pretty down too, which makes sense because half of their team just got murdered by their former leader and founder, and a man that they all really looked up to. As far as they know, they are the only Reckoners remaining. Our Reckoners remaining are David, Megan, Abraham, Cody, and Mizzy. Possibly Tia, but they assume Tia is dead because they have not heard from her. But they're gonna keep fighting, and they're taking their biggest risks yet, basically, in order to try and save Prof. What happens next, you'll have to find out on your own. This video is going to be spoiler free for the most part, within reason, obviously. Calamity, more than any of the other books, gives us insights into our characters, and we see a lot of them from a different view. It largely focuses on David and Megan. Of course, you see everything from David's point of view, as you have in the previous books, but Megan also has a lot of screen time, and she and David talk a lot. But you still get a moment for every other member of the team where you see what's going on with them, and you see how this has affected them, and you see other sides to them that maybe they haven't shown before. With Megan and David, they're very intertwined, obviously, because they are in a relationship. And I've seen a lot of complaints. I shouldn't say a lot. I have seen some people complain about the relationship between Megan and David, mostly back in Steelheart. And I think I'm actually going to make a video discussing relationships in fiction. But I feel like as the series has progressed, their relationship has really kind of taken a forefront. It's moved forward a lot and continues to do so in this book. And I think it's well written and it's enjoyable. And I always enjoy the scenes where Megan and David are both on page together. I think they're some of the best scenes in the book. But I'm kind of a sucker for the slow moments in the chaos, where you just get to see your characters talking to each other while the world is falling apart around them. They become very close, and I find their relationship just really compelling, I guess would be the word. It's also cool to watch David's relationship with his team, because now that David's the leader and Prof has become Limelight, it changes the team dynamic, which, upon reflecting on the book, I kind of noticed just how well this is written by Sanderson and how much his characters impact their story. Like, the story isn't fit to the characters, or the characters aren't fit to the story, but the story is fit to the characters. And I think it's really good, and it's really cool to see how the team changes, as it should, because Prof and David are very different people. They're a lot alike in many ways, but they also have different approaches. There are some really touching moments between characters in this, and some really sad moments. And that I feel like they all kind of strike home, you know? You don't have any moments where you know it's supposed to be touching or insightful or sad or wholesome, and it's not. It doesn't really have any misses in that area to me. And just like our characters, our world is expanding as well. Not only the physical world, because you get to see new places within this. You get to see more of what the world outside New Chicago and outside New York City is like. And while that's very interesting, the primary expansion within the story is on Epic's, their powers, and Calamity. And I loved following along with David as he tries to understand what's going on, and he tries to figure out what causes the darkness, how they can overcome it, and how he can save his friends. Not only does he want to save the obvious one, being Prof, who is now evil, but he also wants to help Megan, who is still an Epic and still struggles with it. Really, it's almost like what you think is the main conflict, being we have to stop Prof, is actually more of a secondary conflict that's a byproduct, you know? And if you can understand the Epics, then you can help them, and then they can save their former leader and friend. And I think it's just fascinating to follow along with. I'm going to go ahead and end this video on something that I found really satisfying, and that's the end of Calamity and the end of the series. The ending, I would almost say it has two endings. There's an ending where, like, your main conflict of Calamity ends, and then you have an ending where your conflict of the entire Reckoner's trilogy comes to an end. And it's wild and a roller coaster and super exciting. And there are so many different emotions. There are some super, super sad parts at this ending where you just really feel for the characters involved. And then there's also some really just feel good, happy, make you smile, wholesome moments. And I'm a sucker for, like, the perfect happy ending, if that makes... I shouldn't say the perfect happy ending. I don't like perfect endings. No one really does, because they feel unrealistic. This ending is a mix of tragedy and happiness. And the happiness part of it, I am not stating this very clearly. The ending is really good, alright? It's tragic and it's wholesome. And I think Sanderson did a great job of wrapping up his trilogy. So definitely check the book out. If you haven't read, you've heard me say it before, if you haven't read Firefight and you haven't read Steelheart, go read them, okay? They're awesome. And then check out Calamity. Thanks for watching, and I'd appreciate like, subscription, comment, Y'all know the drill. Hit the bell notifications. Thank you. Peace out.